Alright guys, so this is going to be a completely different video than we've ever shot before. Most times I'm telling you how to spend your money. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to protect your money. Alright, let's get into it. Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sean. You're in the PokeVault. We got a really special episode for you today, but before we get into it, I want to ask you guys to consider smashing the like button, hit the subscribe, it's free to do, and definitely hit those bells for notifications. I appreciate you all. I always appreciate the Noti gang commenting first. I always see you guys. You're the first comments that I see. I appreciate you all for it. So before we get into this, guys, I want to just preface this episode with the fact that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an economist. I'm not an accountant by any means, but I will tell you that I have been in the market, whether it's investments or Pokemon, for nearly a decade. I have seen a lot of things happen. I lived through the 2007-2008 real estate crash, which we're going to talk about in this episode, and I'm going to tell you guys about some of the similar things that I'm seeing that happened back then, and I'm seeing them today. So in this episode, I don't want you guys to be nervous, but I definitely want you to be prepared, because like I said in the intro, in all of the investing videos that I've ever put out, I'm always telling you guys how to spend your money. With what I've been seeing and some of the people that I've talked to, I'm very good friends with accountants, and I'm also friends with real estate agents, and just from other economist channels that I watch, we've connected certain dots to things that we have seen happen in the past. If you're a millionaire and you have a bunch of money, then just leave now and I'll see you on the next episode. But if you're just a normal human being like I am, just trying to survive, those are the people that I'm talking to. So the number one bit of advice that I want to hammer home to you guys is, if you can, to pay down high interest rate credit cards and balances. So you're asking yourself, what does this have to do with Pokemon? These are good tips just for everyday life, but I'm going to tie in Pokemon to these things. So if you're anything like me, sometimes you don't use capital that you have sitting in the bank, and you might, float it on a credit card when you want to buy something just on the fly, and you just throw it on a card. And then sometimes you promise yourself that you're going to pay that back, but then something else gets in the way, some mini emergency happens, and that debt just stays on there. So it kind of like intertwines in that way. So what I'm going to suggest to you guys, if you can, to pay down high interest credit cards. And the reason why, if you're on some sort of, adjustable interest rate credit card, those interest rates are going to continue to go up as, home interest rates go up. And it's just going to be compounding interest, month over month, and you're just going to be paying the minimum just to get by. I mean, there was a time where I've been at zero and I've only paid interest only and just, ring up the credit card. So I know exactly that feeling and where you're at on that. So that's my number one. Number two, you always want to be doing this, especially if you're dabbling in Pokemon, which I would consider a luxury item. You want to assess your individual financial situation, and you want to identify ways that you can cut back. So what do I mean by that? Not only just in Pokemon, if you're buying frivolous products and you're a habitual ripper like I am, maybe taper that back. And if you're going to buy things, maybe buy them to hold and appreciate, because we're going to talk about that. Not only, during the worst times to sell are sometimes the best times to buy. We're going to talk about that. But just in your overall individual financial situation, something me and my wife do a lot is we look at our bills and we look where we can cut the fat a little bit, right? Or just dial back the bills in general. Our cable bill is $283. I brought that up to her today. I'm like, what the heck's that about? We need to talk about that. So just those little things can free up those extra little dividends and decimal points at the end of each month, and it helps loosen the waistband a little bit. Number three, if you're in the position to, build a substantial emergency fund. And what I mean by that is a little nest egg, right? A pillow to fall on. This is always a good practice if you can. And some of you are going to be saying, no, I'm in a fixed income situation. I can't do that. And then I spend whatever extra penny I have either on your box breaks or on Pokemon product in general. Yes! I feel that 100%. One thing that I do, and it's not for everyone, is what investments, whether it's world investments or Pokemon investments, that you've come profitable on. I sometimes sell that product and I realize my investment and I reallocate those funds into new product. And like I said before, sometimes the worst times to sell, because this, might not be the best times to sell, are also the best times to buy. So even though you may not have made as much as you could have, everyone thinks 2 years ago when the poker boom happened, or when the Pokemon boom happened, you're still probably profitable if you bought something from 6 years ago. I would almost guarantee it. So that leads us right into our, number 4, which is to, like I said, reallocate those funds on new investments. Once again, this is if you're in the position to. The best thing, the most sound advice that I could give you guys is really that number 3 is to build yourself a little nest egg. Build yourself a doomsday type of, emergency fund that will save you if anything were to happen. What I like to have is at least 12 months during shaky times. So while there's wild inflation, which is what's happening right now, and there's a lot of unsuredness in the market in general, not just in Pokemon, I like to have a very nice, just an emergency blanket to be able to fall back on if that time arose where, let's say, the sky falls and the bubble bursts. You want to be able to take care of yourself and your family, because at the end of the day, you can't barter Pokemon cards for food.
You serious?
I mean, maybe I would probably give people food for Pokemon cards, but I'm talking about just in general. You know what I'm saying? You can't take Pokemon cards into Vons and get food for it. You get it. So if you're in the position to, and you have numbers 1 through 3 in order, I would then highly, highly suggest back to investing to reallocate available funds to new investments. And what do I mean by that? I'm talking about this product that is selling for under retail. We talk about it in our, our weekly investment videos all the time. There is deals left and right. It's absolutely insane, but you have to keep it within reason. Okay, so that's my preface point for number 4. Reallocate funds to new investments if you're in the position to, but definitely do it within reason. Have a plan. Don't just blow your whole load on the first thing that you see and buy 100 chilling rain boxes. Diversify yourself. Get a little bit into everything. Some things are going to do much better than others, and you're always hedging your bet. So I'd much rather have one of 100 things than 100 of one thing, if that makes sense. That sounded really good. So that is number 4, guys. Reallocate funds to new investments if you can. Buy the dip. Lastly, guys, number 5, do not panic. Obviously, we're in a very interesting situation just coming off of the economy being shut down for practically 2 years. It's literally unheard of in our lifetimes. We've never been through it, so we can't really understand what the final outcome is going to be and what the ripple effect is of having the economy shut down for 2 years, which was a huge mistake, in my opinion. But we can't totally know what's going to, what the future holds. But what I will say is, if it's anything like 2007, 2008, which it may be as much as or worse, you still don't want to panic. If you align yourself correctly, which I'm giving you the opportunity to now and to really start thinking about it, if you have 1 through 4 checked, don't panic, because recessions are inevitable. These things come and go. And this is the ebb and flow of even investments and what I do with Pokemon. So things that I'm buying today, I might sell in 5 years from now, so I can buy those products in 5 years. That's one of the key things. I really try to not use house money for Pokemon. That's an agreement that me and my wife have. Hope she's not listening, but that's an agreement that we have to not use house money for Pokemon product, right? I try to be as forthcoming and truthful as I can with that, to the best of my ability. So that's going to be it for me, guys, on this episode. I hope this was in some way helpful. I know this is something completely different, but it was really weighing on my heart. I care about you guys immensely, whether you believe it or not. And I feel like it's my responsibility to not only tell you guys how to spend your money on things that I'm spending my money on, because that's part of the channel. That's how we built this thing. Yes! I think it's also my responsibility to tell you guys how to protect your money and how to protect yourselves and protect your bubble. There's a lot of things going on in your orbit. The last thing you want to be affected is your own personal bubble, right? So everything else can be going crazy, but as long as you align yourself correctly and properly, where you are fully insulated from the outside world and the psychoticness of the markets, no matter what it is, I think you guys are going to be okay, and I feel like it's my duty as someone who says that they care, which I do, to bring this type of information to you, and hopefully you guys use it to the best of your ability. So that's going to be it, guys. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to see you on the next episode or live event. Peace out, guys. Keep dancing. Yo, what's up, guys? If you want to see a video that I think that you might like after watching what you just watched, click the button right here. And if you want to be one of those people that want to subscribe to the channel and see how far this rabbit hole goes, the button's right here. Do it!